Hello everybody, I am back for another deck. So, today we got a new homeboy on the block. He's not really new, but he's new for me. I was going through generals and looking for some type of general that gives me like a blinky theme, and originally I was thinking black-white, possibly Esper. I was kind of looking at Vishkal for a while. And then I got to looking at my cards and seeing what I got to work with. Because, you know, I'm all about that saving money. So that way I don't have to go out and get shit I don't need. And realize I got Brago. It's like, okay, well, let's explore this a little bit. He's got a really cool abilities. They're very easy to get out. You know, 4-costing commander. He's got flying. He's got some survivability, having a 2-4 body. And his ability allows you to blink your non-land stuff. Stuff you control, though. So there's a lot of cool card advantage tidbits you can include in this kind of deck that kind of makes it in some ways a little better than white-black. But I think it could be a preference thing as well. So to each their own. I didn't have Vishkal. I did have Brago. So I went blue-white. So he is the Commander Cats. Alright. Sorry, I had a hair in my mouth. Anyways, so our land base is pretty simple. Nothing too fancy about it. We got 10 plains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then 10 islands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So then for our the special lands that tap for either or, Sky Cloud Expanse. Again, this mana base is not special by any means. You can tinker with it, and this deck does have a lot of opportunity to it, but I'll get to it later. Reflecting Pool, Azorius Chancery, Command Tower, Addarkar Wastes, City of Brass, Hallowed Fountain, Hallowed be thy name, Flooded Strand to fetch up your Hallowed Fountain. Really, fetch lands of any kind aren't really necessary. It's a 2-color deck. You're going to get your colors pretty easily. Just watch your lands that tap for colorless. Make sure you get enough to tap for a color, and you'll be fine. So fetch land was pretty much just another means to fix my colors. It is not necessary whatsoever. I just put it in there for fun. Mana Confluence. City of Brass and Mana Confluence. I also run Ancient Tomb. You know, if I have an extra Ancient Tomb laying around, I'll throw it in a deck. But that damage does add up. I mean, especially if I got Mana Confluence and Ancient Tomb out, that's 3 a turn right there. That adds up. But I do have a little ways to recoup some life, so these type of lands don't play a huge factor in any game whatsoever. So our colorless lands, we got Tech Edge, little techie, Strip Mine. I like to be able to take care of one particular land that would just completely wreck a Brago strategy. Frickin' Maze of Ith or Mystifying Maze. Those 2 lands will completely shut down your card advantage engine with Brago. So when they hit the board, I want to make sure I have some options to deal with them. Reliquary Tower. Whoops. Homeward Path, because somebody stole my Brago. I'd be sad. I'd probably be a little butthurt, so I don't want to be butthurt. Blighted Steep. Some of the new Battle for Zendikar lands. These are super fly lands. Throw them in. What do you got to lose? They tap for a mana, so they don't slow you down by coming into play tapped. And they do something. So late game, you can gain 2 life for each creature. Now, bodies on the field, I find that I don't often have a ton of bodies on the field. But there are ways that I can really hammer out some tokens. Whoops, shoot. Blighted Cataract. I mean, it's a land late game if you want to just draw some cards. It's irrelevant. I have so much draw power and such good card advantage to theme with Brago that I never have to use it, but it's an option if I need it. Ancient Tomb and Temple of the False God. Temple of the False God is one of those lands you basically put in every deck. I mean, some people don't like it because if it's in your opening hand, it's just a frickin' dud, but I'll take them odds. So what? I ain't scared to mulligan, bro. I ain't scared to throw down some junk cards for good cards. So, going with our Brago theme, we want to blink stuff. That's a super easy kind of theme to hit. There are tons of cards that have ETB effects. Tons and tons of cards. All sorts of cards. I mean, artifacts, enchantments, creatures, you name it, they have ETB triggers. Now, as I said, I do a lot of trading here and there, so I'm frequently getting rid of, acquiring miscellaneous things. So I do have a few pinholes in this deck that I will point out when I get there that, yes, I would have this card in here if I had it. But chances are I traded it, so I don't have it. Stoneforge Mystic. I run 3 equipment. We'll get to those later. So Stoneforge pretty much card advantage. I mean, it fetches me what I want at the time. If I need draw power, if I need a way to get me more mana essentially, or something to destroy stuff and end the game, it gives me that card advantage. Snapcaster Mage. Now this probably isn't as powerful in this deck because I don't run a ton of instants or sorceries, but this card is just enough to create a complete blowout for an opponent if they overcommit in certain ways. So I felt that he's a powerful ETB effect, he should be in there. Flicker Wisp. For those moments when I just need an extra flicker, why not go to the Flicker Wisp? He legit has flicker in his name. So of course, he's kind of like Brago's like right hand bro. Bro, I'm gonna flicker you. Flicker Wisp says, okay Brago bro, I'm gonna flicker again. So I mean they flicker to flicker. You can stack them triggers and get extra flickers. Trinket Mage, Flickerty Flicker. I run 3 targets I can hit. If I wanted to be really fun, I guess I could add some artifact lands just to make sure I have extra triggers with that. But 3 is plenty, 3 is more than enough. Stonecloaker, a little bit of a graveyard hate. One thing I will pride about this deck is, not only the card advantage, but the amount of hate that I kind of packed in here in very subtle ways. This thing hammers graveyards. If reanimation is a big thing in your meta, this dude is repeatable, 3 mana, 3/2 flyer with flash, and it returns itself if you don't want to bounce something else. So he's recurable graveyard removal. And another thing to note, he can save something, think of it that way. Somebody's going to board wipe and I got 3 mana, boom, I can blink Brago back to my hand and let Stonecloaker die. I have options. Also, he's a good Brago target himself, so don't be afraid to let him be out there and save something. Seagate Oracle, I mean, it just essentially draws me cards. It digs deep, bruh. Thassa, God of the Sea. She really isn't that potent in this deck. She's just another means to manipulate my top deck with that scry and make sure creatures go through. I mean, she's not necessary in any means. I just thought she was good card advantage. Phyrexian Metamorph, I mean, I throw this and Clever Impersonator out. I copy something early on, blink with Brago, make it something else. This metamorphs into whatever I meta-fucking need at the time being. So, he calls the shots. Ephara, God of the Polis. This card is just redonkulous with the amount of draw. Every turn I'm going to be drawing an extra card with her alone. And it's not hard at all to hit her devotion. Clever Impersonator, copy something, reset it. Copy something, reset it. This thing copies anything I want, basically. So he's incredibly impersonatorily important. Venser, Shaper Savant. He might as well be a kill spell, because if I'm blinking, something for free a turn just by him being reset with Brago, me casting him, I mean, I have options and ways to manipulate that. So I can also get multiple triggers. Strionic Resonator, I'll show you later, so that way I can get multiple ETB effect triggers. Archaeomancer, he is in here for one reason and one reason only, and I will get to it. It's a slight, a gentle infinite combo. You know, first and foremost, I do not believe in infinite combos. It's not my playstyle. I go for synergy and just solid deck building. But I decided to be a little spunky and throw in a little something something. I haven't hit it yet, but it's not one hard to hit. But I will get to it when I get to it. Stonehorn Dignitary. I've been getting into Horde magic and tinkering around with learning how to build my own Horde deck, and I think that might be a video that I might do later on down the road as a Horde deck. But I gotta think of a good solid plan and test it out, test it out. Play in a very standard stock zombie Horde deck recently at Alpha Omega Gaming here in the Chesterfield Mall, and Stonehorn Dignitary legit shut that thing down almost. I mean, yeah, they'll come out hot and flip over 5 or 6 tokens and get that attack in. We'll block that attack. I'll reset the Stonehorn Dignitary and or play Stonehorn Dignitary, and they won't attack from that point on. Flicker it with Brago, they don't get an attack. The only way they're going to get an attack is if he leaves play. Basically, that'll win me the game. You can really lock somebody out with that, which is super fun. Gives you options. Solemn Simulacrum fetches you lands. Let it die. Who cares? I'll draw a card, but he's worth more to Brago. That card advantage city. Muldrifter. Muldrifter has drifted from card advantage city. He pays frequent visits to Dr. Feelgood in card advantage city. That's where Brago flies to. Brago is a flyer as well. Him and Muldrifter fly hand in hand over the rosy rainbow to card advantage city and just hang 10. I mean, they bro it up. Revelark and one other piece are some very solid recursion that I have in here. A lot of my stuff, even my general, have a 2 power. 2/4, 2/2. A lot of things are 2. Duplicant is a 2 power creature. So Revelark hits a lot of stuff. And it's when it leaves play. So Brago can trigger this bad boy tons of times. And the Evoke is more expensive than just leaving it in play. Nobody ever hardcasts it because they want it to leave. But I can get away with paying to leave it in play. The cheaper cost, blinking it with Brago. Swag. Karmic Guide. I get these guys going, and it's just an uphill battle for any opponent. I had that going in a different game with this deck last Tuesday at Alpha Omega Gaming, and they really had to work to get me to stop. It was pretty cool. I mean, Karmic Guide dies, and I flicker Revelark, returning Karmic Guide, getting something else. I mean, it's just a repeatable process, and then I get a second target with Revelark. So I'm bringing back several things, getting several triggers, and doing it all over each turn. Whoops. Lavinia of the 10th. She's another one of them lockdown cards that really, surprisingly, hurts opponents. I mean, it's only detaining converted mana cost 4 or less. Non-land permanents every time she enters. I mean, EDH, you're thinking, we play big stuff in EDH. So 4 isn't a big deal. That is a big deal. That is a huge deal. Mana rocks, they are huge in EDH. Boom, that shuts off every single mana rock and makes the game more of a Brago-paced game. So it lets you kind of tempo it out at the tempo you want to go. Teferi, Mage of Halfir, if that's how you pronounce it. He isn't really necessary in this deck, kind of like a couple cards. I thought he was cool, so I gave it a whirl. I have yet to use him. I mean, he doesn't net me card advantage, and that's kind of what I was going for. But he's a solid blue dude, so I figured I'd throw him in and give him a test run. So far, I've yet to take the car out for a spin. Duplicant. Duplicant basically exile 2 things a turn, 1 thing a turn, consistently. You just out-tempo and out-advantage people, out-card advantage people. Sun Titan, again, with them triggers. I mean, any ETB effect, damn near any ETB effect is a Strionic Resonator target. So, boom, return 2 things. Play him, return something. Brago him, return something. Attack, return something. I mean, it's just a lot of recursion. So, Card Advantage City. Frost Titan. Frost Titan is almost a removal piece because he can hit so many things with his ETB effects, and I can manipulate that with Brago and with him attacking. I mean, I can just lock down key things and go to town. I mean, so many options, bro. Consecrated Sphinx. The Con Sphinx, I mean, he's pure card advantage in Sphinx form. So I was kind of hard pressed not to put him in here. He doesn't have a good ETB effect, but he's too powerful to avoid. So had to add him. Metamai the Ageless. Now Metamai is a fun card that I was actually researching some Brago decks, and one guy had put this in there and said that, you know, his reasoning for it was Metamai's extra turn, even though you'll only get one extra turn, that's still an extra turn, so that's valuable. But that also gives you that many more Brago triggers, because Brago can still attack on the extra turn, of course. So that one extra turn, even if Metamai only lives one more turn, that might be the extra turn worth of Brago triggers and blink effects to really get you going and really get you ahead of the game. So I gave it a try, and I found the same thing. My analysis, my research led to the same thing. That extra turn is quite often substantial enough to win me the game later on down the road. Jace's Mindseeker. Jace's Mindseeker is a super fun, super techy creature that some metas it might be a dead card. But then again, some pods it's going to be a extremely, extremely loose cannon and just blow people away. Because you can hit that, you know, once or twice a turn, and you hit the right guy and you'll take him for all they got. Deadeye Navigator, a Blink themed deck. Why not have Deadeye Navigator? He's basically your public enemy number one when it comes to combo-y type things or blinky type things. You know, really, I think I've used him actually one time, and even then it was redundant. I didn't need him. Brago does all the work for me, but he definitely helped hammer out some victory there. Luminant Primordial. Yeah, okay, it's one of the Avatar Primordials, blah blah. It's the crappier one if you want to call it that, whatever. I like it because it hits multiple targets. It hits every opponent for one creature, exiles it, so that gets rid of them indestructible Blightsteals or nasty Eldrazi things, whatever have you. So what, they gain a little bit of life. Life is a very renewable and very removable resource. So I'll let you gain some life because I can often out-commander damage you anyway. So you can have 100 life, you can have 10,000 life. All it takes is 21 commander damage. But I'll exile your field in the meantime. Sphinx of Uthun. He works really well because of my recursion engines that I got in here, and he's a card draw mech, he's a big flyer, and I can hit that over and over and over with Brago. I mean, Sphinx is worth like a quarter, if that, value-wise, but really, any deck that I have blue in, I almost always put him in there because he's big, he's pretty on curve a lot of times, and he factor fictions for free. So that's my creature suite. I run 28 creatures. A lot of them are, well, some of them are kind of redundant, but then again, most of them I really like, so I went with it and stuck with it. So now we got our mana rocks. Now here is one of the biggest places for opportunity for my deck. I don't have Gilded Lotus, and Gilded Lotus is something that I traded away maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and then next thing I know I'm building a Brago deck, and Gilded Lotus would have been freaking the best artifact to have. But I make do with what I got. I'm a deck builder, I'm a good player, I know how to make the crap work, so give me what I can get and I'll take a mile. Soul Ring, pretty stapley. Mana Vault, pretty standard stock. I could also reset that so oftentimes I don't have to take the 1 damage. Talisman of Progress. I will also note that that new artifact from the new 2015 Commander decks, it's a 2 mana artifact that taps to add 1 mana of any color and says you have no maximum hand size. I would put that over this. I had just recently got that. I got the black-green deck. It's a pretty pretty fly deck. I can't argue that. But I saw that, and I've just been lazy lately, so definitely put that in this thing's place, because you're often going to have more than 7 cards in hand, or easily can have more than 7. Grim Monolith. It's another one of them cheap mana rocks. It's an oldie from the Urza's sets that gives you 3 and doesn't untap on your upkeep unless you pay a bunch of mana. But I can blink it with Brago, so I can reset it, use it twice a turn. Azorius Signet, little mana fixing. Thran Dynamo. This thing is a keeper because I can get a ton of mana early on by using this and blinking it with Brago. Again, I do want to reiterate, Gilded Lotus would be in here, but I traded mine away like a dummy, so shame on me, Darren, shame on me. Now we're getting into my draw stuff. Mystic Remora. One of my buddies at the fantasy shop, I really, before I made this deck, I really badly wanted to do one of those deck tech interview type things I did for some of my earlier episodes, because he has a Brago deck, and he's another one of those guys who doesn't have a lot of money. He's a good player. He built this deck. It's a good deck, and he made it with what he's got. And he really kind of pointed out how powerful Brago can be if you know how to use it and know what to put in, know what you can manipulate with his blinks. One thing you can manipulate is that cumulative upkeep. You know, Mystic Remora is not that great to play like turn 1, turn 2, but turn 3 and later, when people really start to cast stuff, you can really draw some cards. Nobody's going to pay the 4. I mean, some people play Rhystic Study. They'll pay that 1 because it's only 1, but they're not going to pay 4. Nobody does that. Yeah, the 1 mana every upkeep kind of gets a little poopy, but it's never going to be more than 1. It's free cards for 1 mana, period, because you keep resetting it with Brago. So that's something I thought was super powerful. Skull Clamp. Skull Clamp, I'm finding, is more often than not almost a dead weight card, because I do have ways to make a lot of tokens in here with resetting Planeswalkers with Brago. So I can Skull Clamp those tokens for 1 mana. But I often have so many other sources of card advantage that Skull Clamp isn't necessary. So I often don't play it or toss it. Ichor Wellspring. This is a very clever interaction with Brago because it basically lets me draw a card every turn, I mean, for free. I blink it with Brago, I draw a card. If somebody wipes the board and destroys it, I draw a card. I can also return it with Sun Titan, so don't be afraid to toss it in the graveyard from like a Sphinx of Uthun or something. Mycosynth Wellspring, a little bit of land fetching ability. Blinkable. These two are just pure card advantage with Brago. I mean, early game, you're not going to have a lot to do turn 2, so this is something I kind of put in the draw section, because it just gets me an extra card, and it's going to repeatedly get me extra cards for free with Brago. So, they deserve it. Then the little dirty dirt bag itself, Rhystic Study. I play it. What up? Sphinx's Revelation. I like this because I'll use my mana rocks early in the turn, like the first main phase, to cast things. Then I will save enough for the color, attack with Brago, blink my mana rocks, and then cast a Sphinx's Revelation on the end of somebody's turn. Gain some life, gain more cards. Card Advantage City. So now we're getting into my my Planeswalkers. Now this is the only Jace I run. Now again, doing my research, you know, another guy, I think it was probably the same guy I was referencing earlier, his video for Brago, he ran this one over the party Jace. What was it, the 3-mana one? I don't know, I can't remember. Jace Beleren. You know, you can ultimate, or not ultimate, but use him twice to draw 2 cards, no big deal. Or you can do this one and do a little mini Fact or Fiction and possibly get, you know, 2, 1 in the graveyard. Either way, it benefits you. So whether I activate this twice and a pile of 2 and a pile of 1, and then blink it, activate again, pile of 2, pile of 1, that's 4 cards versus 2, so I'm getting more cards with him. And the +1 ability is actually relevant if I need to. horde magic or any token strategy, I can just nullify that shit right there, giving somebody -2 on their power of the creatures. Nahiri the Lithomancer. She works well with Skull Clamp, and she works well with my other equipment that I run. So I don't have a complete blowout if somebody hits one of my power equipment. Not a big deal. I'll get it back. If I want to start putting bodies out, boom, put 2 tokens out a turn. Not a big deal. That's pretty much all I use it for, is the recursion and the cheap way to skeet out some Argentum armor, for example. Boom, put out Argentum armor. Flicker Nahiri with Brago. Boom, put out a token or something else. The sky's the limit. Pure card advantage. Desiree the Seeker. He's going to go seeking me some sheet to cheat out with his -X ability. And then I'm going to blink him and do it again. I'm basically going to tutor up all my mana rocks, any of my equipment. If I need more mana, I can untap my mana rocks that I just fetched for. Again, the sky's the limit. I mean, Planeswalkers are card advantage before Brago. Now they're twice as card advantage. Venser is just another means to blink stuff. Plain and simple. Elsbeth, Sun's Champion. Here's my way of making mass tokens. +1 to put out 3 tokens. Blinker, +1 to put out 3 more tokens. That's 6 tokens a turn. That's pretty epic. Or I can start wiping the board every turn and then blink it, put out 3 tokens. Wipe the board, blink it, put out 3 tokens. Card Advantage City! Teferi, Temporal Archmage. He is pretty boss in this deck because his -1 untap 4 permanents. That's 4 mana rocks, couple lands, whatever you want to untap. Blink it, untap 4 more. Or you can draw a card, basically, and then blink it and draw another card, or any combination of those 2 things. I mean, what more could you ask for in Card Advantage City? You want card advantage. Card Advantage City has card advantage in the city. And then the nastiest thing in the world. Using Karn Liberated twice in a turn. The turn you play him, I always -3 to exile a permanent, blink him, -3 again, exile 2 permanents when you cast him. So he's going to have 3 on the next upkeep. So you obviously don't want to lose him before you attack with Brago. So, +4 him to get that activation. Attack with Brago, blink him, then you can -3 again. So you're just shredding hands and shredding permanents. Plain and simple, that's all you need. You don't need nothing more in life. You're never going to ultimate a Planeswalker with this. You're always going to be using them twice a turn. So now my removal. Another point I want to point out with opportunities to make this better and more fun and more on theme is a card called Reality Acid. It's a 5 mana blue aura from one of the time shifted cards. I don't know their names. I never remember those ones. That was my black hole in Magic where I quit for the time shifted Planes Chase, Planar Chaos, whatever they call them, those sets, and then I came back in Lorwyn. But it's from that set. It's got Vanishing 3, and whenever the aura leaves play, whenever Reality Acid leaves play, the controller of the permanent sacks it. So with Brago, you put it on the permanent, you attack, you blink the Reality Acid, it leaves play, they sack a permanent. The Reality Acid comes back into play and you can put it wherever you want, even on hexproof things because you're not targeting them, you're putting it back into play on something, and rinse and repeat next turn. So it's repeatable removal, sacrificing. It hits those indestructible things. That's huge. Those gods, that's a big deal. But we got Swords to Plowshares. Active Authority. I put this in there because ETB effect, boom, exiles something. Cryptic Command. I mean, it's just a solid card, so I threw it in. Aura of Silence. I like this one because of all the recursion I got going on with Sun Titan and Revelark, the Karmic Guide. I'm going to get this back. So it's just a matter of time before I hit what I need to hit. Faith's Fetters. So a little fun thing that I added in here. I can blink it and get 4 life per time it enters field, so I'm going to gain a bunch of life really fast. And I'm going to shut a permanent off, period. So that can lock up a commander, a god, a planeswalker, whatever you want. And every time it's going to gain you 4 life. So it's pretty much just card advantage city. Cyclonic Rift. Staple for blue. Supreme Verdict. Staple for blue-white. Austere Command. Very commanding in the austere way. I get to choose whatever mode I want and blow shit up. Strionic Resonator. Now we're getting into our miscellaneous jank pile. I don't know what to call it, so going into the Misc Jank stiff. Strionic Resonator is super amazingly powerful and versatile in this deck because all the ETB effects classify under the triggered ability. So it's gonna happen, it's gonna hit. Take your pick wisely. Cathars Crusade. I can commander damage people out, like legitimately commander damage people out by blinking things like Muldrifter, Sun Titan, Seagate Oracle, Snapcaster Mage, and just putting all those counters on Brago every turn. That's a 1/1 counter per creature that I'm blinking. I'm blinking a lot. So even if I don't blink Brago, which half the time I don't, he's getting so huge with Cathars Crusade. So give me a couple turns and somebody's dead with commander damage. Time Warp. This is the only extra turn card I got, and this is the infinite combo with Archaeomancer. I play Time Warp, get an extra turn, play Archaeomancer, get Time Warp back, and then I can replay Time Warp and blink it with the Archaeomancer with Brago, and just keep taking extra turns, infinite turns, because I'm getting it back for free with the blink trigger from Brago and Archaeomancer and casting it. So that's the only thing that I got. It literally requires only 2 cards, and that's if I get them. Either way, this is a fun card just to take an extra turn, and it's even Archaeomancer's got its uses with some of the board wipes and stuff. So those aren't completely dead, but that's why I have them in here. I can replace them with something else easily. Swiffer Boots. Now, before I got the Black-Green Commander 2015 deck, I didn't have an extra Lightning Greaves to put in here. I have it now. Lightning Greaves would go in this place. So instead of Swiffer Boots, Lightning Greaves. Sword of Fire and Ice. And this is my card advantage thing. If I need to draw some cards, I'll go get him with Stoneforge. Sword of Feast and Famine. If I've got enough stuff to play and I got the means to get more cards through Brago craziness, and I just want mana to play it all, fetch up that with Stoneforge. And last but not least, when you just want to kill stuff and beat people up, you put on a big ass suit of armor and you go Argentum on their asses. You blow stuff up. And it's also on the attack, so that's kind of cool. So that is the deck formerly known as Brago, the King Eternal. Let me know what you think. I didn't forget about the Omnath the Rage Locust deck. I'm still tweaking it. I mean, one of my buddies at Alpha Omega Gaming, he works there, his name's Blake Wheatley. He made a semi calling out my Omnath deck comment. It's not really calling me out or anything. It was all in good fun. But he said, oh, I bet I can make it better than you, for what he said. And, it's just a joke. We're just goofing around. I was like, oh, hell no. So I went on I'm on a mission to make this deck just perfect. And I'm getting damn close. Like, I went out, I got a Zusa. I got every card that is excellent for red and green that can just hammer out lands. So much land fetching that it's just ridiculous. I mean, it's a fun deck and it's a powerful deck to play. I mean, it's just a powerhouse. And the only games that I lose are games where I just get completely miscellaneously land screwed with no colored lands. Like no green, no red, no nothing. I mean, I can't win if I don't have mana, so But I mean, this deck is just a hammer, and I'm still tweaking it because I want it to be perfect. This is one deck that I'm going to invest a lot into, so I'm going to take the time, I'm going to hit the sweet spot with Omnath the Rage Locust, and then after it's clean cut and as sharp as it's going to get, I'll deck list it for you guys. So I haven't forgotten, I'm going to get to it. But again, let me know what you think, sleeve it up, play it up, let me know. I love hearing some feedback, so until then, I will see you guys later.